hear about the railroad drag. Toot, 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 it's a joyful drag. See the train a-going around the curve. Oh, my, feel that engine swerve. Engineers are humming a peculiar strain. Now, in your heart, you get a pain. All the people on the train have caught the drag. Now, everybody's humming that railroad drag. Oh, oh, that railroad drag. Oh, oh, that railroad rag. It's so entrancing, it makes you fall asleep in Fargo and you wake up in Chicago. Hear that engine hum? That train's sure going some. Here comes that choo, 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 choo. That's the railroad rag. Out in San Francisco, we met Dr. Cook, talking on the pole from an old cookbook. The engineer was angry, said he's dumb. I'll go get that pole. Who'll come? Someone gave a signal, we were off like a shot. Gee, but everyone was hot. In just 30 seconds, we were halfway there. Then stopped to get directions from the polar bear. Oh, oh, that railroad rag. Oh, oh, that railroad rag. It's so entrancing, it makes you fall into a doze. And someone walks off with your clothes. You see that engine hum? That train's sure going some. Here comes that choo, 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 choo. That's the railroad rag. Oh, oh, that railroad rag. Oh, oh, that railroad rag. It's so entrancing, it makes you fall into a doze. And someone walks off with your clothes. You feel that engine hum? That train's sure going some. Here comes that choo, 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 choo. Here's the railroad rag.
Jesse James was the lad that killed many a man. He robbed the Glendale train. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. It was Robert Ford, that dirty little coward. I wonder how does he feel? For he ate of Jesse's bread and slept in Jesse's bed and laid poor Jesse in his grave.
In 1879, Jesse James and his gang rode into the little town of Glendale, forced the station man to stop the train, and took $35,000. Then for about a year, Jesse and his brother Frank stayed in hiding. But then they started up again.
It was his brother Frank who robbed the Gallatin Bank and carried the money from the town. It was in this very place that they had a little race and shot Captain Sheets to the ground. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. They went to the crossing not very far from there, and there they did the same. With the agent on his knees, he delivered up the keys to the outlaws, Frank and Jesse James.
When Jesse was only 14, he was fighting in the Civil War. He and his whole family were with the South. The federal troops were determined to make an example of the James family, and it was out of this background that Jesse started taking the law in his own hands to go on and become one of the most celebrated killers in the West.
It was on a Wednesday night, the moon was shining bright. They robbed the Glendale train. The people, they did say, for many miles away, it was robbed by Frank and Jesse James. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. It was on a Saturday night. Jesse was at home, talking to his family brave. Robert Ford came along like a thief in the night and laid poor Jesse in his grave.
The governor of Missouri offered a $10,000 reward for Jesse James. And the Ford brothers, Charles and Robert, pretended to join Jesse's gang, but actually they were there to earn the reward. And one very hot day, Jesse took off his coat and his gun belt, and then he got up in a chair and began to dust a picture. Instantly, the Ford boys leveled revolvers at the back of Jesse's head, and Robert fired the shot that killed him.
The people held their breath when they heard of Jesse's death and wondered how he came to die. It was one of the gang called Little Robert Ford. He shot poor Jesse on the sly. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave. This song was made by Billy Gashade as soon as the news did arrive. He said there was no man with the law in his hand could take Jesse James when alive. Poor Jesse had a wife to mourn for his life. 3 children, they were brave. But that dirty little coward that shot Mr. Howard has laid poor Jesse in his grave.